Hey guys, welcome back to Work Friend Wednesdays. I'm here with my good buddy Jeff Baggett. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, Mike.
Great, man. Well, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm born and raised in Tallahassee, Florida. Went to school here. Grew up in the quintessential family life. Mom and dad were great. Mom's a teacher. Dad worked for the state. Lived in Tallahassee until I think around 2006, I moved up to Havana, which is a suburb north of Tallahassee. I lived there for almost 15 years.
You got a really nice property up there, right?
Yeah, it was great, man.
Big lots.
Yeah,
couple acres.
There's some land up there. I've actually have some friends that own farms and stuff up there, so it's been it's a really cool area.
So if people don't know about Havana, it's what, 15, 20 minutes outside Tallahassee?
Yeah, if that. I don't even think it's that far.
And there's usually some good value to be had out there, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Why don't you tell everybody what you like to do when you're not doing real estate?
Well, I mean, a lot of people know I love to play drums.
Yep. Which bands have you been in?
So I've played and still are playing in the Alley Cats.
Yep.
Houston D's, and just here recently started doing some stuff with a gentleman that's done some Nashville work. Mr. Jason Bird.
So most of you guys probably don't know, Jeff and me talk 2 or 3 times a week. We kind of go over our plans for the week, the successes and the difficulties we've had. And we've been doing that for what, 5 or 10 years now?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, to any real estate agents out there, especially new ones that are starting out, I would highly suggest that you find some sort of accountability partner, someone to team up with. It doesn't have to be with your, with your brokerage. Right. Just find somebody you click well with, and have those conversations every week. It's been a pivotal point in my business. Right.
So right now you work for EXP Realty, which is a different brokerage than I work for.
Right.
We're still friends. We're not. We're not trying to shove it down each other's throats or anything like that. We're working together on this, and also if we do deals together, we're working side by side trying to make the deals happen.
Absolutely, and I think we're lucky in Tallahassee because you read and you see some of the horror stories of agents that just don't get along. In my experience, that is absolutely not the case in Tallahassee.
Right.
We have some of the best real estate agents in the business in this town, and I've never had an issue with working together with someone.
I think a lot of people think of realtors as being adversarial, when really that's not the case at all.
No, not at all. Especially in my experience. I think you share the same sentiments. When we work together, it's all about what's best for the buyer and seller together as a whole.
The customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. It's what common ground can we come to where everybody's happy?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So now, your work experience, how long have you been doing real estate?
Right around 7 years.
And that's just about the same as me. We started at the same time, basically at the same company. We both moved on from there, but that's how we met. We became, kind of accountability partners, like you said.
Yep.
Now, I know from talking to you, you've got a couple buyers out there who have been looking for a while that you're trying to find houses for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you tell everybody what those particular buyers are looking for? Right?
So I have one buyer looking in Northeast Tallahassee, no farther north than around Cary Forest.
Okay.
Anywhere, it needs to be a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, a flatter lot if possible.
Right.
And that's kind of a big deal for these particular buyers. Upwards of $500,000 to $600,000.
And they're looking for a pretty nice house, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Updated, ready to move in, not really wanting to do work.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious paint color, that type of thing's not a big deal, but yeah, it definitely needs some updating and that type of thing.
And then there's one other one that I know you're working with, kind of a similar situation, but maybe a little bit
less money.
Right.
Yeah, looking for anything really in kind of the same location, can go out a little further if need be.
Okay.
On Thomasville Road, definitely Northeast Tallahassee. 3 to 4 bedrooms, somewhere around 2,000 square feet. Yard size is not that important.
Right.
Just area and a more updated house, less to do when they move in.
So I know that first one you're looking for is for maybe an older couple.
Correct.
And typically, what are older couples looking for in a house?
Well, they don't want a lot of stairs.
Right.
They don't want a lot of changes in elevation.
Yep.
Right. Definitely, they're looking for higher countertops. Sounds weird.
Yeah.
But that's a big deal.
Sure. And not to stereotype, but typically a smaller yard, maybe less for them to take care of.
Absolutely.
So most older folks are looking for this: fewer stairs, right? Fewer maintenance issues on the house, so they're typically looking for newer houses.
A newer house, yeah.
And typically they're downsizing from a bigger house going to a smaller house.
Correct.
But they still want the niceness of their previous houses.
Absolutely. I mean, you
just
put
a
yourself,
smaller package.
Yeah, you put yourself in their position. I mean, they've lived in something probably for the last 20, 30 years. They're used to that nice stuff they have. So to try to, even though they're downsizing, there's still, a level of needs that they have to have.
Yep.
To be happy.
So I know from you looking around, and you've been looking for a while for these people, that's tough to find. That's something that a lot of people want.
Absolutely.
So it's tough to find. Not a lot of supply for that. It's driving up prices, which we're dealing with, which your buyers know. Mm-hmm. But why is now still a good time to buy?
And interest rates are unbelievably low.
Right.
And I think that's what's driving this market. These interest rates are unheard of. And even though they're starting to kind of tick up, they're historically super low.
So we almost think of interest rates right now as historically low. Like Jeff said, they are ticking up slightly, but they're still very, very low. Mm-hmm. We're thinking that at some point the interest rates will go up.
I think as the economy improves after the whole COVID thing, I think you will see interest rates kind of tick up some, and I think a lot of buyers know that, at least savvy ones do, and they are trying to kind of get in there before, who knows where it goes.
So one thing that we've talked about together is even if prices are higher, interest rates are lower, the life of your loan, you're paying less money on a more expensive house than you would if the interest rate was higher and you bought a house for less money?
Absolutely. You can, you can look that stuff up online. You can get charts and you can kind of see at what interest rate would, what my end game be, what would I pay at the end of this loan versus this interest rate. I mean,
Yep.
You can do that online, see the difference. The numbers will blow you away.
I agree. So now's the time. If you know anybody who's looking to sell something that Jeff's buyers are looking for, reach out to me, reach out to Jeff. I'll attach his contact information here on this post. One more thing, Jeff. We always deal with issues. What are some of the issues right now that you are seeing as far as real estate's going on right now?
Yeah, so on the buyer side, obviously, it's the same thing a lot of people are dealing with. Multiple offer situations in just about every single house you go look at. Houses are, if you can't go see them the first day on the market, they're usually gone.
Right.
Unless, the selling agent has worked out with the seller to where, they'll accept offers through a certain time period or whatever. But, you're almost always going to get into a multiple offer situation in this market. And there are a lot of things you can do to try to win that, but you're not going to win them all. Let's just be honest here. So I think what we're starting to see now is kind of buyer fatigue.
Right.
I think we had that conversation yesterday. It's so tough on buyers. It's so heartbreaking to fall in love with that many homes and not necessarily get it every time.
Yep.
But then on the selling side, I mean, it's great. You're getting a lot of money and you're getting a ton of attention on your home, but you're also dealing with showings from 8 a.m. to sometimes 9 o'clock at night.
Yep.
For 3-4 days straight.
Sometimes I think the strategy is list your house, get a hotel room for a couple of days, let agents show the houses, and line them all up. So one more thing that you and me talk about a lot is, can you overprice a house in this market? Is that a good strategy?
That is absolutely not a good strategy.
Okay.
From what we've seen,
right.
We've seen people, shoot for the moon.
Yep.
And buyers don't fall for it. But then on the other hand, it seems like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like people will bid way up on a house in a multiple offer situation. You know, it's something we've watched.
Yep.
And it's just interesting to see.
So a lot of times buyers and just in general customers or consumers want stuff that they can't have. You know, it drives them to bid higher instead of, you know, just making a lower offer on a house that's too high.
Right. And
we're often seeing that multiple offers will drive a house price higher than if you list it high and then have to come back.
And I think the one thing that listing it at the appropriate price or the price that comps can support, that enters emotion into the whole process. And once you enter emotion into the process, you know, the mindset changes, I think.
That's awesome, man. That's great advice. So again, if you got any questions for Jeff or me, reach out, give us a call. If you got what Jeff's buyers are looking for, please reach out to him. He's a great realtor, a great friend. One more question, Jeff. I know, unfortunately, you did not get to attend my wedding or Caroline's wedding.
I did not. I have no skin in that game.
But if you had to guess, whose wedding was better?
Oh, man. I think Caroline would kick my butt if I don't say hers was better.
She would be angry, and I'm a much nicer person. So Jeff's going with Caroline. We'll find out next time.
Safe bet.
Yeah, with another impartial friend whose wedding was best. So Jeff, thanks a lot for joining us, man. I had a great time.
Mike, thank you.
All right,
awesome.
buddy. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, guys.